When it took them this long to get a House Speaker, and they're literally at each other's throats, quite literally, as we can see, at each other's throats, it does raise some questions about the Republicans' ability to govern the country. Yo, did you guys see this video? So, I don't think I was live for when Kevin McCarthy actually got certified. And I haven't really talked about it much since then, because, like, I can only say this is embarrassing for the Republican Party so many times. Like, yes, it is embarrassing that it took them like 13 votes to certify Kevin McCarthy, the most votes in a House Speaker election in like 164 years, like right before the Civil War is the last time he needed these many votes to elect a House Speaker. Kevin McCarthy was dragged through the mud. It made his party look unorganized, and it made it look like Republicans were unable to govern. But we also got something else that is very close to what we saw before the Civil War as well. Not saying the Civil War is coming, just saying, you know, we're reviving a lot of historic American congressional traditions. Before the Civil War, somebody was like beaten with a cane by another congressman. We had a physical altercation. Somebody who supports Kevin McCarthy got really angry at Matt Gaetz. This guy is named Representative Hudson. No. Representative Hudson grabbed Representative Mike Rogers after he tried to confront Matt Gaetz, and it looked like he was about to get physical. Look at this. Here's Kevin McCarthy. Goes over, he starts engaging with Congressman Matt Gaetz. They go back and forth. I don't know exactly what they're talking about. He seems upset, Matt Gaetz. Lauren Boebert speaking now. Now they're getting heated. Matt Gaetz is pointing the finger at Kevin. We have more people gathering around this confrontation. Here comes Mike Rogers. He seems upset. He's now yelling at him. Oh, he's being constrained. Oh, and the camera cuts away. Oh. And he is gone. Mike Rogers has been pulled away. And that was that. Somebody grabbed him by the face and dragged him away before he could get physical with Matt Gaetz. And then the camera cuts away. I know there was a few pictures of like him putting his face over him. I don't know exactly what Mike Rogers said. Here is a screenshot of him being restrained as he points the finger at Matt Gaetz, probably angry at him for his lack of a vote for Kevin McCarthy as House Speaker, as he continues to, like, you know, embarrass them. Something like this hasn't happened since 1985 and was probably more common in Congress during, say, the 19 and 1800s, and is a lot less common now. So this isn't like completely unprecedented. I know some people are saying like, oh my God, this is a sign a civil war is coming. Well, it is true there were physical altercations in Congress before the Civil War. There was also physical altercations in Congress after the Civil War, and does not necessarily indicate that a second Civil War is coming, but does indicate that the Republican Party, again, is really chaotic right now, and there is a lot of hatred inter-party right now. They're not exactly as unified as the Democrats are, to say the least. When it took them this long to get a House Speaker, and they're literally at each other's throats, quite literally, as we can see, at each other's throats, it does raise some questions about the Republicans' ability to govern the country. You know, the Republicans have always been the one of the pitches of being conservative, being a Republican, is that you want to conserve the country, you want stability, you want to be able to stop the chaos that the liberals will institute by adopting all these new crazy policies. But if the Republicans want to run on that platform when they're at each other's throats and they're unable to bring stability to their own party, how are they going to bring stability to the nation? A good example of that is that Kevin McCarthy also recently announced, right after he took Congress, that their very first bill is going to be for repealing the funding for the 87,000 new IRS agents. Let's play.
I know the night is late, but when we come back, our very first bill will repeal the funding for 87,000 new IRS. You see, we believe government should be to help you, not go after you.
So, Swagapotamus, thank you so much for the prime. I appreciate it. But the government's also supposed to, and I'll put this bluntly, go after you in certain cases. If you dodge taxes, the government is supposed to go after you and stop you from dodging taxes. Just like if you break the law, the government is supposed to go after you and neutralize that threat. If you dodge taxes, yes, the IRS is 100% in the right to stop you from dodging taxes and to making sure that you pay your fair share. If we were to take this argument to its logical conclusion, then we shouldn't have cops, we shouldn't have police, we shouldn't have a military, and we shouldn't have a National Guard. We shouldn't have anything that could possibly arrest or go after a citizen. We shouldn't have SWAT team. It's a little silly. It feels more like a platitude than it does a substantive point. And another thing that's interesting about this bill is that the bill that he's going to repeal, the majority of the funding that the bill allocates isn't even for the thousands upon thousands of new IRS agents. A lot of the funding is actually, I think the majority of it, I think David Pakman talked about this, the majority of it actually goes towards replacing retiring IRS agents. Now, that's not to say that there isn't any expansion, but the majority of this funding is going to be going towards keeping us where we're at the very least, and replacing the IRS agents that are just retiring because they're in their 60s and 70s and they've been doing this for so long. But I also want to make sure that I am advocating openly for the IRS to hire more IRS agents. The IRS is critically understaffed. A lot of the investigations they want to launch into tax dodging of very rich people who pay people thousands of dollars, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, sometimes millions of dollars to help them dodge taxes, to funnel their money into offshore bank accounts and to the Cayman Islands and to wherever they can, Swiss bank accounts, in order to dodge paying taxes, dodge paying their fair share into the society, which helped them get to where they are, either through paving roads, through the use of the public education system, through the use of our police force to protect them and their assets. Instead of, paying their fair share, they want to dodge taxes. And I think it is good for the IRS to go after them. The IRS is like one of the few programs that if we actively put money into, it's like almost a guarantee that it's going to lead to more funding for the federal government, because they're going to have these staff to launch these investigations and to go after the people who are dodging taxes. Now, I hear from some people like, well, what about the ordinary Americans that the IRS is going to launch investigations in? That they're going to launch investigations in? Can I be honest? Not every single IRS investigation into everybody is justified. Just like not every police investigation or any investigation is justified or necessarily is going to uncover wrongdoing. That does not mean that I cripple an agency that is meant to make sure that we can, keep the books and keep our government funded, because I'm afraid that they might launch too many investigations, or that they could catch up a few working class people in investigations. Because let me give you the, oh my God, scary take that I guess other people are scared to give, If you dodge taxes at any income level, that's bad and you should pay your fair share. That does not mean everybody should be paying the same to the federal government, but dodging taxes is not good and it should be gone after, and we should make sure everyone, every section of society pays their fair share. You know, for all the talk of financial responsibility I heard from Kevin McCarthy over the last 2 years, or Paul Ryan before that, or Mitch McConnell, or you know, any Lindsey Graham, any number of Republicans, for all this talk of financial responsibility, the first things the Republicans did when they got in office was do massive tax cuts, increase the deficit massively under Trump, and now that they're regaining the gavel, they're trying to undercut the IRS's ability to fund our government and go after tax cheats. It's silly. They could try to advertise this as, oh, we're protecting working people, but I just see this as being fiscally irresponsible. You cannot advertise yourself as the fiscally responsible party if you don't want to do what is absolutely necessary to keep the nation fiscally responsible and go after tax cheats. I hear a lot of concern from Republicans when it goes to the idea of, like, what if somebody's committing welfare fraud? What if somebody's committing welfare fraud? We need review boards. We need people, you know, these people to provide evidence that they're not committing welfare fraud. We need all these things. Oh, IRS? No. If people are dodging taxes, that's different. If people are not paying their fair share, that's different. Giving money to the poor is one thing, but we should make it so it's as easy as possible for people to dodge taxes. It's silly. It's silly. Like, literally, like, this is like free money hack. Somebody just brought it up in Twitch chat. More funding for the IRS is like a free money hack. It's like guaranteed. We fund this, we get more money for the federal government. And since Donald Trump made such a financial mess, somebody has to clean it up. But apparently the Republicans don't want to help in that effort. They can neither govern their own party or the country. I just hope we don't see any more virtue signaling from the Republicans on fiscal responsibility when they are not willing to do what is necessary, even if it isn't politically popular, to make our nation more fiscally responsible and to allow our federal organizations to, you know, work and work well. We should not be having a staffing shortage in an organization which is most necessary to keep our nation financially stable.